Hey everyone, welcome back to another Artist Talk. Right now, this is streaming on my page, Faith J. McKinney's YouTube page, and Black Artist Foundry. This is our very first Black Artist Foundry Artist Talk series, highlighting two artists that were selected for our Artist in Residency program. I normally, if you're familiar with these artist talks, very many of them on Faith J. McKinney page, I start off with a song. Normally, it's a song that the artist shares with me. This time, I've been preparing for this whole talk, listening to Euphoria by Kendrick Lamar that dropped today. As a cultural worker, this is it's important for our culture right now. So I wanted to share that track before we get started. But I'm glad to have you all here with me. We're going to have an hour full of a great discussion with our artists, and We Are Sacramento. The Gallery 916 team is going to join us also to talk more about the program that we started last year. So as always, I want to start by saying we are on Native land. And you'll see here this map. These are the cities and states across the country that we have supported Black artists through funding. So you all are probably coming all over the country to watch this. I am talking to you from Neeson on Land in Sacramento, California, along with the artists and where their studio and exhibition space is located. So I want to share a little bit about Black Artist Foundry before we jump into this discussion. So it was founded by me in summer of 2020. And since then, in the last almost 4 years, we have awarded over $110,000 to more than 100 Black artists across the country. And before I actually talk about, or we get into a discussion of what actual funding does for Black artists, I wanted to share two of our programs that cost nothing. They cost nothing for the artists, for the Black artists to be a part of, and they cost nothing for the community to also support and to contribute to. The first one is Proof, where I collaborated with Dev and Glenn, and we brought over 60 Black artists together in downtown Sacramento to take this photo that you see on the left. And that was really powerful as I think about Black Artist Foundry creating community. And this was a community of artists that a lot of us didn't know each other, but we're all working in the city. So I really want to take this time to highlight, if you were in this photo, shout out to you. I'm excited to work with Dev on volume 2 of Proof, where we will hopefully have double the artists show up in Sacramento for this historical moment. To the right is the Free Black Artist Directory, which is on the Black Artist Foundry's website. It is free for artists to join. Right now, I believe we have about 47 artists, including that directory. So I would highly recommend, if you're a Black artist, to join the directory. If you are an organization or a business or an artist, a non-Black artist that wants to collaborate, hire, support Black artists, please use this directory. Again, it's free. It's free to use, free to join, and it's really important. Leading to this moment with Temple Coffee Roasters. And I just want to show the shirt that I have on. This shirt is by Ken Parker, who was a past Black Artist Foundry grantee. And what I love is so many people come to me and ask me, hey, Faith, I need to find Black artists for XYZ project. And before I'd have to, go through a list and ask questions. And now I just say, hey, go to the directory. So Temple didn't even have to ask me. They actually went, Temple is a coffee company in Sacramento with multiple locations throughout the city. And they went straight to the directory and looked for and found Ken Parker, who they paid well to create this design that you see here. And they're selling it in all Temple stores, and all proceeds go to Black Artist Foundry, which is really important as we think about partnerships and collaborations. And this is one where we didn't have to do much, right? Temple is just selling the shirt, which I purchased, I believe $32, and all of here. $32, and the proceeds will be given to Black Artist Foundry to help with our programming. And our next program, really big program, is our Black Artist Foundry Art Auction, which begins May 10th through May 26th. Recommend, if you're a Black artist, to visit this website and submit up to 2 works. We would love to share your work in our gallery space in downtown Sacramento, raising money for you and for Black Artist Foundry. So as we jump into tonight's program, I want to give a thanks to our selection committee. So these six panelists here that you see in front of you are based in the Sacramento region. They all are contributing and supporting arts and Black artists specifically. Want to say thank you to Susie, Yuli, Kiara, Jeff, Cynthia, and Barbara, who all assisted tremendously in selecting Keia and Jermaine. We had about 22 applicants, and it was hard to recuse myself, right? Because I've worked with and collaborate and know so many of the applicants. So leaning on those 6 panelists really helped to select our residents that you are going to hear from today. A big thank you, because this program, the Artist in Residency program, could not be possible truly without last year's Big Day of Giving donors who you see here, who raised about $4,300. And Jeff and my Townsend also matched that giving to match it up to to bring it to $8,685. And with about $10,000, we were able to pay for the studio space, put some money in Keia and Jermaine's pockets, and kind of assist with seeing this inaugural residency come to fruition. So thank you all. Thank you for anyone that has donated since. Those funds are helping us go to our next Volume 2 residency and all of our other program that we'll discuss later on in this talk. So I want to go ahead and start with some introductions. So I'm going to start with Jermaine. Bring Jermaine to the stage. Here we go. Hey, Jermaine. All right. So with over 20 years of artistic exploration, Jermaine Tilson has delved into various realms of expression, including photography, painting, and film. Self-taught and fueled by a passion for continuous learning, Tilson approaches his craft as both a student and a creator. His artwork has been featured at prestigious venues as the Golden One Center, Brick House Gallery, Cafe Colonial, Old Soul, the Gallery 916, and numerous other establishments throughout the Sacramento region. Through Tilson's diverse portfolio, he strives to evoke emotion and spark curiosity, inviting viewers to join him on a journey of artistic discovery. Thanks for being here, Jermaine.
Of course, thank you.
All right, and we're going to now go to Keia. Hey, Keia. So Keia Kodama is a mixed media and experimental custom sneaker artist who is deeply committed to exploring the intersection of street culture, style, and design. Kodama is dedicated to contributing to a more diverse and inclusive artistic landscape, while also committed to using her creativity to celebrate and elevate the experiences of BIPOC people. Thank you both for being here with me. And congratulations. I know feels like a whirlwind, right? Since you got that acceptance letter last year, and you've been working really hard in your studios and produce 2 amazing solo exhibitions. So I really want to start with that. And I want to start first, I guess my first question for you both, and we'll start with you, Keia. What was your goal for the 6 months of this residency?
My goal for the 6 months was to find my artistic voice. When I submitted, I knew I wanted to go into more sculpting work, and also pull my inspiration, from old masters. And I just had to figure out how that looks for me and the work that I want to see from me. So I took a lot of time within this 6 months to really be intentional in the thought process of how that looks.
Yes, and it shows. And I think back to our original studio visit, right? And you had some great ideas, and to see you consistently stay with them. And we'll talk more about process, because I think that's what excites me about your work. I like to think of you as a scientist, you're kind of mixing and really creating at the core of what creating means, like creating things from scratch, right? So I'm really excited about that because we talked about that in the beginning and we see it through the entire exhibition, right? We see that work that that you even submitted on your application. We see that. And sometimes that's not always the case, right? Things change. You're right. You get months into, you're like, wait, I'm not going to change it, but you stayed with it. So thank you for that. Jermaine, same question for you.
I guess for me, my goal was honestly, I mean, everyone knows me as a painter and a muralist. So my main goal for this show was to present, you know, other mediums of things that I'm talented at, that I'm really good at. And I know I'm really good at painting, but like photography, I actually went to school for photography for a year or so, and then also film is something that I really wanted people to see a little bit of what I do, but it took a lot of work to present what I have already. So I think that my main goal was just kind of just letting everyone know I'm not just a painter. I can do all this too. So and then just kind of just being creative too. Like I'm always.
I love that, Jermaine, because I like to consider you prolific, right? You have a lot of work, right? And you're constantly creating. And what I love about your work, it's really truly coming from this personal place, right? And we can see almost your internal thoughts as we look at your painting. So I'm excited for you to kind of give us a bit more into that as we go through the talk. But I want to share, for those that have not seen the exhibition yet, it is up through this Saturday at the gallery 916, which I will share some information here. So Friday and Saturday. So after you listen to this talk, I recommend that you go see it either Friday 4 to 8 or Saturday 12 to 4. And let's get into, Keia. I think just the title of your work is really important, right? It's, you think about, the appropriateness, right? And the appropriation of being a Black woman in today's society. And I'm really interested, one, in this amazing image, which I love. But I'm also curious on that title and what was your concept in creating this exhibition specifically?
I think I wanted to piggyback off of the exhibition or the installation I did for Coordinates, which had a double meeting with the title. And I was just trying to figure out what would that look like for this, and it being mainly for women versus the one I did previously, which was to celebrate the Black men. So when I was thinking about it, and I just kept going back to, what you just said, which was the appropriation. I was just like, inappropriate, because it's always inappropriate when we, do anything. So it was then that I realized that I figured the Da Vinci Code. I figured it out, what I wanted the title to be, which would explain a way to celebrate the word instead of have that negative connotation that it has.
Right. And I think what's beautiful is at the opening, you see how it resonated with so many black women, right? And we had this moment, right, where we felt like you were celebrating us, but there was also a moment where you were not explaining, right, but like everybody else got this moment of what it feels like, right, to be us, or what it feels like. Because I would say, of course, they all want to be us, right? They all want to be us. But I think there was this moment where non-Black people got to see, oh, wow, these are images that I've seen, but maybe they don't resonate with. But there was the importance of you being a Black woman artist, right? Sharing these experiences and sharing this work with a community of Black women and also everyone else. And I think that's the important part, especially with Black Artists Foundry and Black creative expression. It's really individual, but it's also for everybody else, right? And it's
right.
Learn, right? It's a moment to look back and to look forward. So it deeply resonated me, obviously, as a Black woman. That is very inappropriate, right? So it really resonated with me. And Jermaine, almost exactly not even the opposite, but I think your work is, when we look at your work, there's this moment of I want to know what's going on, like what's going on in his head. What is he thinking about as he's creating? Because for me, I'm always attracted, what we've talked about in studio visits is the line work, right?
Yeah.
In this moment of like maze and kind of mapping. So can you tell us a little bit about um, I know your personal journey is intertwined with your work. So can you share kind of what that journey looked like for you and what this work means to you?
For like a certain piece, or just in general, the whole
Yeah,
entire.
just in general, I think your creative practice.
Honestly, like for me, like it was like a really big challenge for me, but like it definitely took parts of things that I was going through in my personal relationship, and I had to figure out a way to kind of, import it into the work. And also, this sounds crazy, but also show appreciation too, like for the struggles or the things that I was going through. So like there are a lot of like different shapes and lines and stuff. Like to me, they represent, just different times and ups and downs. I don't know, it sounds crazy, but like it definitely it aligns into a lot of things that was going on with me. So I think that it was a challenge for me to do all this, but it was also healing. Like it was healing
Mhm.
because I was going through a lot of stuff. I lost a lot of friends throughout this process, and all I really wanted to do is have the people that are closest to me support me and continue to build higher with my craft. And I found that like it's hard to do that when you're an artist. Like no one really is gonna truly understand who you are in general, but like as an artist, it's even harder. So that's
Yeah.
why I took the time to pour into the work. Like the lines, like the squares and the eyes. Always do the eyes, but I feel like they meant something more in these ones. Like this one, the color on it, like
Mhm.
means more on it than normal.
Yeah. I love to hear that as a transformative experience because I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's really what the goal is for these residencies, right? For you to have a space, one, have a space, right? And then two, to experiment, right? And have this transformative experience. And I hope this is a question for you both. I hope that you came out the end of this different than you came in before. But that doesn't have to be good or bad, right? But there's just a transformation that happens with an opportunity like this. So can you kind of maybe briefly mention Keia, like the transformative journey? Do you feel like you've in the last 6 to 8 months, do you feel a change in who you are and your creative practice? Has that changed? Has that transformed?
Absolutely. Up until now, I've been more focused on just creating the work as a whole, like whether it's installation or just completing a project just like that, the Air Force Ones. And because of that, I've been able to sell the experience and monetize off the experience of what I created. But I wasn't, it took now for me to figure out what it would look like to actually sell my artwork. And
Mhm.
then I approached it just like I would with fashion, and what would that look like as in branding and things like that. But then it went back to it being personal and very sentimental, and if it's something that I want to continue to create 100 times over, and then what scales do I want to create this on. So this process was big for me because I think it finally resonated with me, and where I felt more comfortable saying I'm an artist
Yeah.
and producing the work or thinking about the work as an artist. So it went into many steps over the 6 months or almost 8 months. It was a lot of steps for me to get there. I took probably 3 months where it was just thinking. I was guinea pigging, trying out the different ideas and styles and materials. But once I landed on what I landed on, it was a perfect fit. So I'm very, very grateful that I had the time, you know, financially was able to be supported and had the space to really figure out how to cultivate exactly what's all the stuff going on in here.
Yeah, yeah. And I think to coordinates right here. And I feel like this is a transformative experience for so many. And I just remember you and I in this space after you did it. And I recall this was definitely not your first installation because you're a fashion merchandiser, you do this, right? But this was your first, like you said, your first art, installation where people are coming to experience the art. and you knocked that out the park, right? And that was, I mean, that's a memorable experience that so many people have. I think of, of this, right? On the left, it's this is on the display board outside of Golden One Center, downtown Sacramento. And on the right is an installed view of it at Coordinates, along with this one. But so transformative and consistent. I'll say one thing about you, Keia, like you are consistent. You're going to execute fully and succinctly every single time.
Thank you.
And Jermaine, I really I want to talk about your title of your show, because I think this is so important as we think about, and I love that you said that you're trained as a photographer, because as I say you're prolific, I think about your abstract painting. And I didn't know until this process of the residency how intersected your photography works, right? How intersected your photography is with your abstract painting. So could you tell us a bit about the convergence of abstract and photography in this show?
Well,
and I'll say, sorry, and technology, right? Because there's some pieces like this one on the left. When you go into the gallery, it's activated through the phone. So I'm really curious on that convergence of this feeling of abstract painting, which is really personal, and then photography, right, which is so figurative. And can you tell us about the convergence?
Yeah, honestly, like for me, like I know that I wanted to make sure I try to put everything together. When I mean together, like everything kind of aligned together, like, and that's why, Keia, she had came up with an idea that was cool, and I wanted to do that for all the pieces. But I was like, if I can't do that for all the pieces, I should still have like some type of thing that represents, my abstract being more than just a painting, So I did this thing where you would scan each painting, and what it would do would have an extension for an animation that I created off of software. And for the photos and stuff, for me, like all these photos that I took, like they had something to do with each photo, like each painting, but like some of them were kind of apart. But like I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain for me a lot what my process, because it just comes out. So when I get support and help from others around me, it's definitely appreciative. So I took the time to listen to other people's ideas, and that's something that's really hard for me, because as an artist, for me, I just paint and I just go and I just snap and I go and I just put everything together when it's time. So that's for me one thing that I struggle with, but like I think it came out really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I love that you said the support, because that's something sometimes with residencies, right? You're in your silo, right? You're in your studio, your headphones on, you're working. But for those that don't know, it's a very large space, and it was separated into two. So you both were in the same room, but with a small divider. And just for me to witness through our group chats, right? And through being in the studio with you both, and this support, when we talk about Keia being able to do these installs, right? And have this idea of materials and how materials work. And I got to see that collaboration between you both. And I was happy, like when Mario and Madi joined us, that support came from the gallery, right? But there was still also, I wasn't there, they weren't there. It was just you two, and I could see that, especially Jermaine, and how you put some of the work together. I seen that collaboration, that support. Again, right, thinking about Black Artist Foundry, that truly is that was the idea for founding this organization. Was it ain't just me, right? It ain't just Black Artist Foundry. It's creating this community that you all can work together. And although you won't have that studio space, I imagine that you'll still collaborate, right? And there'll still be this moment that you create a community that will outlast. It's still transformative. It's still going to it's still emerging. So yeah, I love that you both, that there was some support and the collaboration between you both. That doesn't necessarily show up in the exhibition, right? But we know that, and we know like the space that you all held for each other.
Oh yeah, it was wanting to, at the end of the day, just wanting to see each other win.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's beautiful. One thing I included this picture because I want to share this amazing photo. And Jermaine, what I love about you and even your work is your family is involved, right? Your partner shows up in the photos, your babies are there in the studio with you. And that's something that we see a lot with Black artists throughout time, right? In the past and in the present, like there's this familial community with our actual family, but also, like I said, with you and Keia. So I just wanted to share that photo because it is precious. And this is where it starts, right? I imagine, in 20 years, she'll be, a young photographer with an artist residency at Black Artist Foundry.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
I feel like it's gonna happen, definitely.
So I think this is a good moment because we talked about a little bit about your practice, and I really want to bring in Mario Lopez and Madi Padilla, because this idea isn't just Black Artist Foundry, right? This started from a collaboration with them both. So I'm going to bring Mario and Madi to the stage. Hey, y'all.
Hi, everybody.
Salutations.
Yes. So here with us is Madi Padilla, Chief Operating Officer at We Are Sacramento, and Mario Lopez, the CEO and founding partner. And if you haven't been to this space, I always tell people, one, it's accessible, right? Whenever I was on Cap Radio, me and Jermaine were on Cap Radio, I'm like, get on light rail, go to I-80, get off on Globe, walk across the street, right? You get wine at Cynthia Brooks Tap House, and then you walk next door to a gallery, which for me is not just a gallery. That's why when I originally approached Mario, it was already a community. You all have built and as a gallerist, right? I know what it takes to push out shows every 30 days, and you all are doing it very well. I know there's a team behind you, but I really wanted to talk to you both about what this residency, which is the first for you all, right? You've been doing shows, but to have artists in your space, right? 24 hours. I want to talk to you both about what this experience meant for you and why it was important for the collaboration.
Yeah. Mario, you want to go first?
Oh, I guess I'll go first. I think the first initial vision for it was to really put it forward that we are here for what a gallery is supposed to do, which is mentor and teach, not just show art and charge commissions, but more or less conduct ourselves as a place where people can learn how to start a art career, right? Which a lot of times for people, not only artists in general, but people of color, is not something that we press forward. And it's not something that's encouraged in the family for the most part in general. When you tell somebody that you're going to be an artist, they look at you like, well, how are you going to pay your bills? And so then that's our vision is to for sure just put it across, like to change the way the galleries conduct themselves in the art community. And I think that's why I wanted to do it really, really bad, because one, to learn to see how that would look and how we can also learn how to teach our community better, because a lot of the time student teachers, that's a very symbiotic relationship where not only the teacher can teach, but the student can teach the teacher how to have a bigger impact.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got, people.
Sorry. I totally agree. I think that this opportunity was just super important for the Black Artist Foundry, for Keia and Jermaine, as well as for We Are Sacramento, because we were able to, like Mario said, learn a lot about what just entails, what does it take to have a studio space, what is the importance of it, we also realized how important it was, because as soon as word got out that we had studio spaces, a lot of questions and conversations started happening in regards to just there's a lack of in Sacramento. And so I think that it was important for us to be able to, fulfill that little spot of that issue. But I think that this opportunity allowed us to bridge the gap between so many different organizations, so many different artists, which was super important to us. We're all about community, Mario said. And I think that that was like the epitome of it. So it was, we loved the opportunity. We loved the experience.
Yeah. And I think what's beautiful about you both in your space is that sometimes when galleries in Sacramento, right, it's just the space, right? It's four walls and a door, come in here, put your art up. But you all are doing so much. So you're doing mentoring, right? And Madi, I think of like your organization, right? And I think of how real Mario is, right? And there's some points like, we need that, especially as artists of color, right? As Black artists, we need that we need that support in that community, and you all have done an amazing job at it. It wasn't just sometimes like, okay, we just need the space, right?
Sure.
And this wasn't that, right?
Yeah.
I've come to your openings, and there always is. It feels like family. It feels like love. You know, then you know you have. It's just this. And I'm going to show some of the images. I showed a few of past exhibitions, but also creative with the space, right? And I think about the exhibitions that I've seen there, and they range right from full-on immersive installations through video, and there's this really important dynamic that's happening in that community. I think that's important too, right? That part of Del Paso Heights used to be the arts. That was the arts hub. That's where
Right. Right.
Saturday was, and Thursday night marks, and that was the creative core. You know, that was a very important space for Sacramento, and I'm glad that you all are bringing it back, especially as we think, right, as you know, there's a lot of change happening in the community, and I think it's important that you all, you know, you created this community that can then grow from here and not be where we won't be displaced, right? With you all there, we know that we got folks that look like us that own a gallery, right, that are providing support and community to us. So I think
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Can you tell us what's next? I'm going to share a few images, but can either of you tell us what's next for? And I want to say this because this is the thing, right? Even I'll say, yeah, the Gallery 916, but it's the gallery by We Are Sacramento.
We Are Sacramento. Could you imagine that being our Instagram handle or URL?
So tell us. So I think it's a good part just to tell us about We Are, because they're two separate, right? Could you tell us a bit about We Are Sacramento and that convergence, right, into having a full gallery space?
I love that. Okay, Mario, do you want to go speak on We Are Sacramento, and I'll speak on the gallery?
Yeah. So, I mean, We Are Sacramento, we started off as a photo essay, which is I'm a photographer and by trade. And then, you know, in a podcast, so we started a podcast, and then we did that for about 4 years before we even started talking about a gallery. But I think with We Are Sacramento, I think it grew from just being a podcast or just a photo essay, and because I think we built a good reputation in our community where mainly if we said we're going to do something, we're going to do it. You know what I mean? And we didn't. And I think, I don't know, I think the name just kind of really resonates with who we are as a group. You know, even like working with Madi and learning to work with Madi and then everybody else as partners, you know, I think, and then learning how to maneuver the city that is changing. I think that's kind of my idea of We Are Sacramento is like, we all got to work together. It's in our mission statement. I think we've stayed true to it for the past 5 years where, you know, it doesn't matter what you look like, what color, belief, like we don't subscribe. We just, if we happen to touch base and work together, it doesn't matter what you subscribe to because we don't. You know what I mean? And so it's a matter, like for us is a message of unity, is a message of being able to work together even if we differ from point of views. I think having different point of views is extremely important to grow. And that's helped me a lot personally as a human being. And so I think that's always been like what We Are Sacramento has been able to do, whether it's accidental or, you know what I mean? Like some things just happen. And I think that we've been very lucky that we've been able to do what we've been able to do in our city, whether it's a podcast, parties. We've done a lot under that name of We Are Sacramento. And then, you know, I'm extremely proud of what we've been able to do, you know, and we grow every now and then. There's a growth spurt, you know, and then of course there's growing pains with that. But that's just, I think we really do live by our name, which is, you know, obviously We Are Sacramento.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like to say that we're a media and community organization because we obviously, Mario does a lot of podcast producing. And so that is in the media realm, and then the community is, we do a lot of community, and it just all fits under one umbrella, whether it be art shows, whether it be supporting the community. We've done interviews for like movie releases, we do outsides, and we go interview different organizations that are in Sacramento to give them the highlight, to introduce them to our followers at least. So we have fun with it, to say the least. And our newest endeavor is the gallery by We Are Sacramento. So in June, or maybe actually technically May, Mario reached out to me and had an idea and an opportunity that he wanted to move forward with, and it was the gallery. And he basically was, telling us this opportunity and explaining how big and awesome it was. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go ahead and open an art gallery. And we opened in 17 days. And don't ask, I don't know I think that was the ultimate test with Mario. However, we did it. And so what the gallery is we are we're again community based. Everything that we do is about the artists in our community, the people who live in it, our guests, very Sacramento based. But we also do work with people outside of the city as well. So if you're interested, submit your art. No, but basically we have a new exhibit every 30 days. And so once a month we change out, we invite new artists, all obtained from our artist submission list. And we basically create an art show. So we have 4 curators. Our team consists, let me speak on that. Our team consists of Mario, myself, Santana, Miles, Kayla, and then we have 2 art curators, which are Yuli and Gabriel. And so the 4 curators that plan the shows, we basically take one for every month, and we're just planning as we go. It's definitely an awesome opportunity. I was telling Keia that so we've known each other for a while now. And so I've told her multiple times, like, you are an inspiration to me. So to be able to be in a space of art and creativity with somebody that, that inspired me, I'm like, this is amazing that I'm able to be in this space doing similar aspects. And so I think that the gallery, back to the gallery. So we're very big on the artists. So the artists who sell pieces in our exhibits, they get 100% of proceeds. And so we don't touch it. All money goes directly to them. Any opportunities that arise that we find ourselves in and we can use artists, we always reach out. We always try to get them involved as much as possible. And so the gallery, again, is just very community-based, very artist-based. We do it our way. We don't know anything else. And so our opening receptions are a blast. They're a party. They're great vibes, great energy. So what's happening next is our next exhibit is in 2 weeks. So May 18th from 4 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We will be hosting our opening reception for our next exhibit, Room to Grow. That exhibition is being curated by Tomas Montoya and Manuel Fernando Rios. So it's going to be a super fun one, and it's symbolized of Chicano art. And so I hope everybody can make it out.
Yeah, thank you, Madia, Mario. I think what I find is your actions, right, speak louder than your words. And sometimes, especially in our city, we hear a lot of, but we don't see the action. So I see it, right? Before I even collaborated with you guys on this residency, I've seen it, right? And it resonates very loudly in the community. So I thank you, because I've been pretty vocal about those organizations that are making impact need to be supported, right? So I want to use this time to, like, how can we, and the folks watching and me personally, how can we support the work that you all are doing? What does that look like? Because first, like, snaps to the 100%, right?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, what does it look like? Because I know as a gallerist, right? Like, you guys have bills to pay. Like, what does it look like? Showing up, yes. Buying art, yes. Buying beer and wine, yes. But what do you need from community? I always find myself asking artists and orgs that question. What do you need?
Our primary role is an art gallery, right? But we're also an event venue. So what we do that pays our bills. And so what we do, if you guys are interested, in renting out our space, please reach out to us, the gallery916.com. You'll be able to contact us from there, or just email us, thegallery916@gmail.com. It gets a little confusing, right? However, we also there's one day we hope to just primarily be that art gallery with no events. And so art opportunities, purchase art from the artists that, you know, we're bringing in. If there's any opportunities that arise that we can bring art outside of the gallery, that's our next goal. But just more so, think of us, support us, come to our events. I know that you said that that's, you know, that's something that is easy per se, but we get it. We know how it is. Any exhibition, any event that we host, just support us. If you're not able to support it, make it out, post our flyer.
Nice. Yeah.
I think another thing too, like on our website, there is a link that says Art the Gallery, and then you can actually donate. And basically we decided to call it Art the Gallery because I think sometimes, like my goal was to not even charge a hanging fee, which is one thing that we do charge as a hanging fee. But all of that, I think you guys, because you guys were part of our art show, our exhibition, you could actually see what the hanging fee actually goes to, which is printing all the materials for the art show and all these things that go into creating an art show, or putting it together. And I know for us, if come to our exhibitions and support the artists, because that's one way of doing it. And when you see our stuff, share it. But, you know, if monetary support, you know, you can go to our website, you know, the Mario had already said, which is thegallery916.com. And then you can actually go on the link that says Art the Gallery. You can donate to us, and so that we can keep doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And before you both leave us, I want to open it up to Keia and Jermaine. Keia, we can start with you. Just really, you know, we talked about the space, we talked about the work, but what did it mean for you just to have Mario and Madi kind of influence this residency and your exhibition?
Knowing Madi for a long time, and even speaking on collaboration, it was easy to have someone there that I was familiar with and can easily talk to. I found a new brother with Mario, someone that is very like-minded, but because he is very much business first, it helped me bridge the gap that I needed between taking this idea of selling art and then making the art and putting it and marrying it together. So, which is still kind of hard for me. I'm so used to the experience that I'm still like, oh, how do I price this or how do I do that? So being able to have that, both of them, but Mario specifically, I think I saw more during this time, and having those conversations of bridging that gap for me was very crucial and got me in the right mind state so I can produce, and not just produce, but produce with intention.
Right. That's important. Yes. Jermaine, what about you?
For me, I really appreciate Mario because definitely like taught me a lot of things. You know, like I really, you know, it was really helpful in knowing a lot of things I didn't know about, like such as like hanging my paintings certain ways. You know, like people pay attention to that, and you know, most of the time I'm just creating and not really thinking about stuff like that. You know, and I guess it does matter. You know, I never really looked at it like that, but I'm appreciative to that. And then also just kind of just put me on different places I can go to or websites to get prints from my artwork. Definitely helped me out with saving a lot of money for certain future projects that I'm working on. So appreciate it from that and in general. And then also, I forgot your name. I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Maricela. It's Mario without the O.
Mari. So Mari, I definitely appreciate her because she listens to the interview on Cap Radio, and you know, for me, I grew up in foster care, and you know, not a lot of people really like know what that experience was like, but she shared a little bit of her story to me, and the fact that she was able to like kind of connect, it made me feel appreciative that I was in that state to be able to share that with people. I feel like as I got older, when I was in the system, like I stopped trying to use that as a reason for people to look at my art and stuff, but I never really looked at it as like maybe that's not what people are looking at my art for. They're looking at it because, you know, they might want to experience or want to hear your story type thing. I never really looked at it like that. So I appreciate that in general. That's the personal side for me because, like, you know, I definitely, because I'm 29, you know, I'm almost 30. So I feel like for me, like if I bring up my past with my being in foster care, I feel like it makes me feel like a sob story, like, oh, let's buy his art. We feel bad. And that's not, you know, I want people to really like sit with my art and feel it and understand it, you know, because they like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not because of we feel bad for this black person because he went through the system, you know. But I never looked at it like, you know, maybe that's not why people are looking at my art. Maybe they want advice or something. Maybe they have foster kids and I might be able to give them advice. So I appreciate that from her because she shared a little bit to me, you know, about her family having foster kids and stuff too. So that definitely sat very well with me. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome, man. Thank you. I'm glad it's awesome to be able to resonate when you don't really know, you know? And so, yeah, I'm glad that touched you in that way of like, hey, this is, you know, it's important because I was like, wow, I can resonate with you and your story, you know, and I want to see more and I want to see you grow. So thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you.
And just want to add, they are between all three of you guys, having you guys support is a lot of people in general don't get to say this often, but you guys are all truly extremely supportive, and you bring that support brings a confidence. And so it makes it easier for you to work.
Right. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, and this conversation's come up a lot, right, in our region, but just having a safe space, right? And to look to someone like Jermaine saying that with Madi, right? And me looking at folks of color in a gallery space that understand where not even your art's coming from, right? Where you're coming from, your humanity, right? And where your personhood is in. And I appreciate Madi and Mario and your whole team. I've learned a lot through this, right? This was the inaugural, and I remember telling Mario, I was like,
yeah,
it's the first time, I don't know what. And, you know, I think we've had some, especially me, like as an organization, right? We've had some like growing, like, okay, how do we do this right? How do we make impact?
yeah.
And I really appreciate you both for being there, right? In our group chats and having this moment that we can grow from this together. And I hope that, and I know that, not even hope, I know that this has had a huge impact, not just on Keia and Jermaine, right? And not just on me and Black Artist Foundry, but our entire city.
Yeah.
Right. And I just thank you all for the space that you've created. And Madi girl, I know what those like that, you know, that 2-week turnaround time looks like, but to see what you've created and to see a community. And I think the important part for me is we need space, right? I always say we need space, but it's so much more than that, right? It's the space that you created and you can walk through the doors and you feel it. And so I just want to thank you both. Thank you both for your capacity, right? Because there's a lot that you have to deal with. You both have jobs, right? We're talking about the good thing, Sacramento. Like, you know, there's all these moments that you all are making personal sacrifices for your gallery, but also for Black Artist Foundry and these two artists. So I thank you both, and I'm looking forward to our next collaboration.
Oh, thank you guys so much for your kind words. That was amazing. And thank you for the opportunity, Faith. Keia and Jermaine.
And thank you for letting me make a mess.
Oh, no, you're cool, girl. You're good. Anytime.
But that floor machine is going nuts tomorrow. Now I'm just playing. Now I just want to say thank you, you know, to all three of y'all for, you know, being here and, you know, allowing us to house it here. And I know, Keia, you're going to stick around anyhow. And, you know, hopefully you get some more out of being here in this space. And, you know, again, I think I just want to leave it with a message where it's just like, you know, we all just got to work together at the end of the day. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Madi and Mario.
Right.
Yep.
Bye. Okay, that was great. That was all like,
they're awesome.
Yes, they are. They're great. So I want to ask you both, as we close up, we have about 9 minutes. If there's any questions in the chat, please put them in there. We have a few minutes for Q&A. But I want to hear, Jermaine, starting with you, what's next after this residency, right? The show's over on Saturday. You know, you're transitioning into what is next, and how can people, how can people support you?
For me, I'm still gonna be doing my painting in general, but my main focus is gonna be working on short films and documentaries, and that's honestly like what I'm really passionate about. I've got a few scripts that I've put together already.
Grace.
Like it's just kind of just at this point just executing everything and putting it together so everyone can see, you know. So
Yeah.
that's my main focus now. I mean, I'm still gonna be doing my art and stuff, and you'll probably see me at local art shows, you know, with art here and there. But you know, that painting is never gonna stop, you know, in general. But my biggest focus is gonna be working on film for me.
I love that. Did you find that through the residency? Did that come to you in the last couple of months that you're like, okay, wait, now I want to transition into that through your photography because you have some great photos in the show too, or was that something you were always thinking about?
I've always, you know, been into the film and stuff. Like,
Okay.
and the film stuff is something that I like actually like have taken the time to sit down and like try to learn things and also connect with different people, you know, in the community. Like,
Nice.
and they've taught me a lot. So,
Yeah.
and it's just me for me. It's just kind of like executing it and putting the work out. So I think that you know now is like my point. Now is where I'm like, okay, everyone's seen this show that I've done. Now is the time for me to present my film. You know, so.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And I also think, you know, especially in our region, we don't have very many Black filmmakers, right?
Oh,
So I'm excited to see the work that you're going to do. Thank you, Jermaine. And Keia, I know you're doing so many things, girl. I know. What's next for you that you can share? Because I know you have a lot.
I know I can't share everything all the time. I do have a huge project that I'm currently working on. I'll be able to announce that soon. And then I have the Midtown Love project that's coming in May, or like 2 weeks. So that's really fun. And it's nice because through you, and so thank you, I am finally working more with the city. A lot of the projects I've done have been experienced through the brands, and they're, you know, international or worldwide. And so it's nice to do things home and to be able to, you know, be with my people. So trying to look forward to more of that. I think I'm going to scale my sculptures to be larger than life. So I am excited to start working on creating these giant barrettes that are about 5 feet high, you know, 5x5s,
Yes.
and just keep learning my craft and learning more about the materials that I'm using and how to execute, you know, to the level of efficiency that I want, because I want to see these in spaces that I have never seen too much of hair products or Black hair care or experience in. So my goal is to hopefully too, whether I can recreate pullover or continue with Inappropriate, is I do want to try to be commissioned for things outside the city where this could actually travel, like the other artists that are big. That's the goal.
Yeah. Well, thank you both. I just think of the impact that you both are making that's beyond you, right? You don't even see Jermaine, for those kids that are also in the same system and watching this and say, oh, wow, I can do it, right? Or Keia, the little Black girl, little and big, right? Me and my 41-year-old self going in there and feeling seen, right? And so I thank you both for your work. I didn't know what to expect when we had that money, and I said, let's do a residency. And when the panelists selected you both, who I know very well, I was excited. This wasn't my expectation. You guys have exceeded my expectation. How you work together, the show that came out of this residency. So I thank you both. You have started something that will continue on for Black Artist Foundry, and it's only continuing on because of the success that you both made it. So I thank you, because that's bigger than any of us, right? Hopefully this lasts. Hopefully we have, 10 plus residencies, but you both will hold a very special place as volume 1. As I always get a little teary in my talks. But I really, 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 really appreciate you both. And, me as Faith and as Black Artist Foundry will always support you both. And I thank you for repping for the Black artists. I thank you for being very intentional in your work and being very, being your work is so much more, right? Your personalities, your humanity, I want to also highlight that it's the work, but also you both are really good people, and you're supportive of your families and your communities, and I think that's really important in Black Artist Foundry and in the world right now. We do have a question before we end from Genesis the Mayor Torres. Hi, Genesis. For both artists, have you thought about creating writings or collaborate with writers around the larger narrative concepts of your work?
Ooh.
Never thought of that, but that actually would be cool.
Yeah.
Yes, but not on the scale that he's probably thinking. My daughter has her AA in English, and she loves writing. So it's something that I have always jokingly said, but in a seriously joking, like memoirs of me kind of thing.
Yeah.
And not to the extent of being so personal, but yeah, how to translate or articulate. So a lot of times things that you do see, whether it's a caption or anything that describes what I'm doing, I have her proofread it and edit so it could have a feel of her being involved.
Nice. Yep.
And
Family. I love it. Well, thank you both. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm excited to celebrate this weekend, the closing. Again, if you have not seen the show, I hope this last hour has encouraged you to show up on Friday, May 3rd, 4 to 8, or Saturday, 12 to 4, and purchase some art. Like Madi and Mario said, all 100% goes to these artists. So outside of the residency stipend that they received and the studio that we paid for, they also are selling their work at the gallery. So please show up and support their work. Follow them. And I'm going to put this up one last time so you can see Keia Kodama, Jermaine Tilson, Artist in Residency, Volume 1, Black Artist Foundry. Thank you both. I appreciate you, and I will see you in our group chat.
Same. I very much appreciate you. And you guys, as a city, I hope anyone watching or anyone that will see this as a city, do not sleep on giving Faith her flowers when it's too late. Like, she deserves them every day.
Thanks.
So thank you very much.
Yes, thank you both.
Thank
Don't
you.
make me cry. All right, love you both. Thank you. All right, so that was great. A great conversation. Thank you all for joining us. I want to make a few announcements. Artist in Residency Volume 2. We are preparing for a fall. 2 more residents, and you can scan this QR code to donate to Black Artist Foundry to support this program and our many other programs included here, such as our Black Artist Foundry Artist Talks, our exhibitions, our upcoming art auction, our Fuck Those Fees program, Black Artist Fund Volume 4, our Artists in Residence Volume 2, and then our Black Artist Rest Retreat, details announced soon. I want to make one last drum roll, please. So we have some exciting solo exhibitions coming up. I'm really, really excited about these. Obviously, the first one is our Black Artist Foundry auction starting next week. Some amazing Black artists are contributing their work. And we are showing that in our gallery space at 1020 16th Street on June 1st. We will have Eidolon, which is a solo exhibition by Bailey Anderson. I will just note that I did a studio visit with Bailey last year and fell in love with her sculpture. So she will have a solo exhibition with some funding and space come June. And then July 13th, we will have Michaela Stewart, who is an amazing photographer who will be exhibiting her solo show, A Family Affair. So we're really busy. We are not participating in Big Day of Giving coming on May 2nd, but I still encourage you to visit our website and donate, because this money, the few dollars, from $1 to $1,000 that you, and plus that you donate to Black Artist Foundry, has a major impact. It goes directly into artists' hands through space, exhibition, through unrestricted funding. I'm really, really proud of this work. I'm doing it by myself, y'all. And it is rewarding right? It's not even challenging, it's rewarding. I'm rewarded every day I get to work with artists like Keia and Jermaine. So I really invite you to support our work and visit the show this weekend, visit our upcoming shows, support all our upcoming programs. And as always, we are Black as fuck. Thank you for joining.